Most people compare themselves to billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett and think net worth is some distant, untouchable number. But here's the reality. For people under 35, the median net worth is just $13,900. According to the latest Federal Reserve report, less than the price of an entry-level used car. If you're between 25 and 40 and worrying about being behind, chances are you're using the wrong benchmark. And I'll show you the real numbers, age by age, to prove it. Do you actually know how your finances stack up to others? Or are you chasing the wrong standard? Feeling behind for no reason? Stick around. Because in the next few minutes I'll reveal the true net worth numbers for every generation, why the average is a lie, and a 5-part framework to grow your wealth faster, no matter where you start. Let's clear the myths and set the record straight. When you hear someone mention net worth, what comes to mind for a lot of people? It's a mental snapshot of billionaires floating on a sea of cash. Maybe Jeff Bezos checking the stock market from a $400 million yacht, or Buffett at the annual shareholder meeting. But here's the surprising twist that trips up almost everyone. Even though net worth gets thrown around in headlines, your real financial standing probably has very little to do with those astronomical figures. In fact, the numbers that matter for regular folks like us are more eye-opening and more achievable than you might think. I'm John, and here on Money Masters, I break down the real numbers behind wealth so you can build a future that's secure, not just flashy. If you want to actually see how your finances compare to others like you, and if you've ever wondered if you're genuinely ahead, behind, or just lost in the middle, it's time to get a real benchmark, not billionaire clickbait. Hit subscribe if you want clarity, and drop a like if these facts help cut through the noise. Now, before we dive deep into the data that might make you feel either relieved or rattled about where you stand, I want to bust the number one myth. Net worth is not your income. That might sound simple. I mean, your salary is just a piece of the puzzle. But you'd be amazed how many people think earning $200,000 a year makes you wealthy by default. Truth is, you could make 6 figures and still have a negative net worth if you carry lots of debt and spend everything you make. Net worth is the ultimate clarity number. Here's the formula. Take everything you own that has value. Your home, car, investments, bank accounts, even collectibles like a vintage guitar. That's your total assets. Now subtract absolutely everything you owe. Mortgage, student loans, car debt, credit cards, and any lingering bills. What's left? That's your net worth. Sounds simple, but most people never actually crunch this number for themselves. It can be a wake-up call, sometimes encouraging, sometimes a little humbling. Let's walk through a real-life example, because numbers only make sense when you see them play out. Suppose you own a home valued at $400,000, drive a $30,000 car, and have $20,000 spread across bank accounts, investments, and other stuff that counts as assets. That's $450,000 in total assets. Looks impressive on paper, right? But now reality says hello. You still owe $280,000 on your mortgage, $15,000 on the car loan, and carry $8,000 in credit card debt. Because, let's be honest, life happens to all of us. That adds up to $303,000 in liabilities. Do the subtraction. $450,000 minus $303,000 leaves you with a real net worth of $147,000. Still solid, but a far cry from the headline asset figure most people brag about. Here's an interactive moment. Pause for a second and try this. How would your net worth stack up using that formula? Add up everything you own, subtract your total debts, and type your number or your reaction. In the comments, no shame, just self-awareness. Most people inflate their financial wellness by ignoring debts, or by only totting up the assets that sound cool. But when you do the honest math, you get a reality check. And this reality check is what the Federal Reserve measures in their big survey of consumer finances every 3 years. This survey is the gold standard for understanding where American households really stand financially. It's the data behind almost every personal finance headline, and it says some things you might find surprising. The average American household net worth clocks in at $748,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $750,000. But don't let that number mess with your head. Here's where the first big curiosity loop comes in. Why is that number so high if so many people feel behind? The answer: billionaires and ultra-wealthy households skew the average skyward. When one person in a group has $100 million, the average gets distorted for everyone else. Like standing next to Shaquille O'Neal and then thinking everyone is tall. If you want a number that actually describes typical American families, you have to look at the median, the number right into the middle, with half of households above it and half below. According to the most recent Federal Reserve report, the median net worth is just $121,000. That's the real benchmark. $121,000, not $748,000. Here's a shareable quotable you'll want to remember. Your net worth is not supposed to match the average, because the average is a distortion. Median does not equal average. Don't let one billionaire distort your self-worth. Here's a quick progress marker. We've just nailed down the difference between the fantasy numbers and the reality numbers. Next, let's break things down by age, because this is where people get the most clarity and the biggest shock. The numbers for each age group are wild. If you're under 35, the median net worth is just $13,900. Let that sink in. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, maybe starting a career, juggling student loans, renting, and only just beginning to invest, your median peer has under $14,000 to their name. If you have even $20,000 saved up, you're ahead of most people your age. This is a good spot for another micro-engagement. Are you above or below the median for your age group? No shame. Honest answers only. Type it in the comments right now. There are a couple reasons the number is so low. Young adults are just getting started, often paying off school debt. Many haven't bought a home, and few have had compounding investments working for them very long. Plus, career stability and higher earning power usually come later, and now for a pattern break. Why does owning a home matter so much? That's because home ownership can supercharge your net worth compared to renting. Federal Reserve data proves it. Homeowners have a median net worth of $255,000. Renters, just $6,300. That's a gap of nearly $250,000. Let's visualize it. Imagine stacking $255,000 on one side of a scale, $6,300 on the other. Why is the gap so huge? When you pay a mortgage, part of every payment goes to equity in your home, a forced savings plan, and over years, rising property values help too. Renters, meanwhile, pay monthly and build no ownership. They're helping someone else build wealth. But remember, owning a home is not for everyone and comes with risks and responsibilities. Let's keep moving up the age chart. In the 35 to 44 age group, median net worth jumps to $91,000. This is the decade when people are starting to hit their stride. Maybe careers are more stable. They begin investing for retirement, often buy their first home, and possibly start thinking about kids, which adds both responsibilities and opportunities for wealth building if you're intentional. Here's another quick interaction. Pull up your calculator and check if your net worth is above or below the $91,000 mark for the 35 to 44 group. Where do you stand? Drop your reaction or number in the comments, and don't stress. This is about awareness, not shame. Even here, many people struggle to prioritize childcare and education costs, big mortgages, and the temptation to spend more as income rises can make it tough to get ahead. This is called lifestyle inflation, the tendency to upgrade your lifestyle right alongside your paycheck, often at the expense of building wealth. For ages 45 to 54, the median net worth climbs to $168,000. By now, mortgages are partly paid down, retirement accounts may have grown, and career incomes likely peak. But lifestyle upgrades, like bigger houses, nicer cars, and expensive travel, can also eat into wealth if you're not careful. Some families double down on saving and investing, while others see expenses rise just as quickly as income. Let's pause here for a mini case study. A friend of mine in our Money Masters community hit $180,000 net worth by age 50, mostly by maxing out his 401k and staying in the same modest house while his peers kept moving up. His secret wasn't luck. It was consistency with boring habits that compound over time. The numbers jump again with age 55 to 64. Median net worth hits $212,000. This is the planning for retirement decade. Some people hit their stride as their investments grow and mortgages approach payoff, while others realize they may not have saved enough and begin scrambling to catch up. Income often plateaus, and the importance of controlling expenses rises because time is running out to recover from mistakes. If you're in this age bracket, how does your net worth stack up against $212,000? Pause. Check your numbers and type where you fall: above, below, or on target. Comments are open, and remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Now here's a curiosity loop for you. What happens at traditional retirement age? You'd expect net worth to skyrocket after a lifetime of saving. Right. It's true. Kind of. For ages 65 to 74, the median net worth reaches $266,000, but growth slows dramatically. Why? Most people retire and start drawing down savings instead of building them up, and healthcare costs begin creeping higher than many anticipate. Here's a key insight. At some point, building wealth turns into managing and enjoying it. Many retirees downsize, help family, travel, or just live more comfortably. The goal isn't to hoard wealth forever, but there's a final twist. Above age 75, the median net worth actually drops to $254,000. That's the only age bracket where the number falls instead of rising. Don't panic. This isn't a financial disaster, it's the plan in action. After all, what's the point of lifelong saving if you never enjoy your money? The key is balance. Withdraw and spend strategically so you don't outlive your nest egg. But also don't die with regrets that you missed out on life experiences. Quick recap. The wealth curve keeps rising as people age, then plateaus, then gently falls, reflecting the balance between saving and spending. But beware, running out of money is a risk. I want to ask, are you thinking about what you want your money to do for you in later life? Or just stacking numbers for the sake of it? At this point, it's natural to compare your net worth with these medians and feel good, bad, or totally confused. But there's an even bigger truth hiding behind all these stats. Net worth isn't the whole story. It's just the start. Let me hit you with a scenario. Imagine two people. One has a $5 million net worth, but 90% of that is locked in a giant mansion with huge upkeep costs. So they keep working 60 hours a week to pay the bills. Meanwhile, someone else has a $300,000 net worth, all invested in index funds and rental properties generating enough passive income to cover $4,000 a month in expenses. Who's more financially free? The second person, no question. Here's the powerful principle. The goal isn't just a big net worth number, it's achieving financial independence, which happens when your investments or passive income cover your basic expenses, so you stop relying on a paycheck. If your costs are $4,000 per month and your investments provide that, you're officially work optional regardless if your net worth is $500,000 or $5 million. Here's the next curiosity loop. So how do you systematically move above the median and make financial independence real? Because these stats aren't destiny, you can change your trajectory with the right steps. Let's break down the 5-part framework that's helped members of our Money Masters community outpace the median and get financially confident. First, tackle your debt head-on, especially high-interest credit cards or payday loans. Every dollar of debt is a dollar working against your net worth. Paying off a credit card charging 20% interest is mathematically the same as earning a guaranteed 20% return, better than most investments. Yet many chase hot stocks while letting debt drain their finances. Don't try to fill a leaky bucket, seal the leak first. Quick check-in. Have you calculated your total debt at today's interest rates? Pause this video and do the math. It could change your approach overnight. Tell us below if you find anything surprising. Second, redirect your money into real assets that build value. Stocks, index funds, real estate, or small businesses. Not just stuff that loses value, like cars, gadgets, fast fashion. The wealthy don't just earn more. They ensure every dollar has a job that increases their future net worth. Here's a pattern break. A case example, Sarah, a Money Masters subscriber, started small. $3,000 in a low-cost index fund at age 25. She kept adding $200 a month. By 35, she had over $40,000, even though markets fluctuated. The magic wasn't from stock picking. It was from steady, relentless investing. Most people don't realize the first $100,000 is the hardest. When you have $1,000 and get a 10% return, that's only $100. But when you've built up $50,000, a 10% return is $5,000. Compounding takes over, and the snowball grows faster the bigger it gets. Third, control your expenses, but don't punish yourself into misery. This isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about being intentional. Every raise or bonus is a chance to build more wealth, not up your lifestyle. Millionaires often drive 10-year-old cars and shop at the same stores as everyone else. Consistency and moderation trump sudden extremes. Here's a micro call to action. What's the biggest lifestyle creep purchase you made after a raise? Share your story below. We can all relate. Fourth, build extra income streams, no matter how small. In today's digital world, anyone can freelance online, launch a side hustle, invest in rental real estate, or start a small business. Even an extra couple hundred a month accelerates your wealth curve, and for many, these side hustles turn into full-time self-employment or passive income over time. And fifth, the secret weapon in give compounding time to work its magic. Building wealth isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. People with high net worths don't get there overnight. They start early, keep going, and let boring, steady habits work for years and decades. Don't bail right before your investments start snowballing. At each step, stay focused on fundamentals. Avoid high-interest debt. Invest regularly in diversified assets. Keep expenses reasonable. Create streams of income. And let time do its work. The flashy stories you see on social media, someone making millions overnight, are outliers, not the normal path. The stats prove it. And there's another social phenomenon at play, the Instagram economy effect. If your social feed is full of vacation shots, new cars, and designer buys, remember, these aren't indicators of net worth. Often, people are going deep into debt or draining savings for the sake of appearances. The real financial elite rarely advertise it. It's like being the best-dressed person at bankruptcy court. Looks good, feels terrible. If you've ever felt behind compared to what you see online, you're probably judging yourself by a manufactured highlight reel. Let me bring it back to what these median net worth numbers actually mean. They reflect current reality, not destiny. If you're consistently saving, avoiding high-interest debt, and investing for the long term, you're already ahead of much of the population, even if your net worth feels small right now. Want a practical checkpoint? If you're 30 years old and have a net worth of $50,000, that might feel tiny, but you're actually doing better than your age group's median. Pat yourself on the back, then use this as fuel to keep going. Here's a curiosity loop as we close. When do most people finally get serious about wealth building? Usually later than they should. The biggest jump in net worth comes between ages 35 and 44. After many have had a few wake-up calls and realize that wishful thinking isn't a strategy, often it's a tough event, a car breakdown, a job loss, or an unexpected expense, that finally pushes someone to start saving or investing. Don't wait for disaster to be your teacher. Use awareness as your motivation. But even when people get serious, many go straight into complicated investments or try to time the market. The ones who win repeat boring basics, maxing retirement contributions, sticking with broad index funds, paying extra on mortgages, and living beneath their means. It's not glamorous, but it works. Compound growth is slow, until it's not. Most people give up before the inflection point. So are you ready to take action? Don't just passively absorb the stats. Download the free net worth tracker linked below, enter your numbers, and see where you stand objectively. Set a calendar reminder to update it every 3 months. If you want to dig deeper, subscribe so you don't miss part 2 of this series, where we'll dive into daily, weekly, and monthly habits that set the financially independent apart. And finally, a mindset shift. These median numbers aren't something to chase. They're a clarity tool. The more you focus on growing your net worth instead of showing off, the bigger your wealth will actually get over time. Last micro call to action. What's the biggest money myth you believed until now? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's help each other out. Remember, progress beats perfection. Now let's recap and hit those next steps together. Quick recap. We've shattered the billionaire myth, shown why median, not average, is the real measuring stick, and walked step by step through the net worth benchmarks for every age. Using the latest Federal Reserve data, we've also looked at why your net worth doesn't tell the whole story. True freedom is about having enough income from investments to cover your living expenses, not just chasing a headline number. Action steps. Today, use the link in the description to download your free net worth tracker spreadsheet. Plug in your assets and debts for the most honest snapshot you've ever had. Then set a reminder in your calendar to update it every 90 days. This one habit will keep you moving forward. In the next 30 days, pick your lowest hanging fruit. Can you pay off one high-interest debt, start an automatic investment, or reduce a recurring expense? Small wins compound. Over the next year, stay consistent. Keep adding to your net worth, even if it's just a few $100s at a time. Use credible tools like Mint, Personal Capital, or your bank's aggregator to keep all the numbers in one place. Remember, results show up with steady action, not gigantic leaps. If you stick with the framework, you'll see your net worth rise every quarter, and your stress drop right along with it. Will you be a millionaire in a year? No. But moving from the 20th percentile to the 60th puts you ahead of most. And that's progress worth celebrating. Here's the deal. Don't stop with this video. Subscribe to Money Masters and hit the bell so you won't miss part 2, where we dig into specific daily money habits and investment moves for every life stage. What was your biggest surprise today? Did the stats make you feel relieved, motivated, or freaked out? Let me know in the comments. And let's build a supportive community together. And before you go, download the free net worth tracker and use it for your after-video action step. Your future self will thank you for taking charge. Everything here is for education. Personal finance is personal, and for individualized advice, always consult a licensed financial professional before making major decisions.